Detroit's another team very similar to Boston. Fans have been waiting, and they've been waiting a long time, and they're ready to see a step get taken.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
I'd like it to be a long weekend.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. And hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 76 of Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I'm your host, Tico, and this is my co-host.
I'm yours, Trilly.
And we're here for the preview of the Atlantic Division today.
Exciting. I'm so jazzed for this one.
Atlantic's going to be a lot of fun. We got preview, we got predictions, we got standings predictions. I'm ready.
I think this is just going to be a division full of upset.
I agree. And I can't wait for it. I really can't wait to see how this one shakes out. I think we should jump right in. Once again, we're going alphabetically. We're going to start with the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Interesting offseason for them. They add the man who was once known as Big Z. He would like to remove that moniker now as he's in Boston. That's Nikita Zadorov. They get him on 6 years, $5 million per year.
Oh, Zaddy.
We're not doing that again, Trill.
We're not
doing that
It's sticking.
again. No.
The fans love it.
Elias Lindholm, he's here to stay as well. They think he's got some Bergeron in him. They're giving him 7 years, $7.75 million per. Woo-wee. That's a couple bucks. Korpisalo in, Allmark out. Significant downgrade there, but that's okay. Also, it's over for the league. Greatest name in hockey, Brandon Bussey, gets a contract.
I'm leaving it alone. I already used my pass. I should have read the notes.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. So I don't know. I'd like to say that I'm concerned about the Boston Bruins, but it'll really make me happy to see them fall away a little bit here. I think that they go a little bit downwards, and it's not because they got like significantly worse. I just think that Nikita Zadorov had the best season of his career last year.
Yep.
And I'm expecting some Jonesy patented regression there.
100%. I mean, Brendan Carlo is. I don't really think he's a top 4D, to be honest. I think he's a very good bottom 6. Like if he was your 50, that's great. Andrew Peeke, I really, really like. I think that's a great addition.
Sure.
But I don't think it's like changing their outcome by any means.
Yeah, there's a lot of age in here. I think too, like Lindholm has been very hot and cold, but it's been mostly cold since Gaudreau and Tkachuk left him. And then he had a bit of a resurgence in the playoffs last year with Vancouver. But again, that was around some other like truly elite talent. And I know he'll be playing with Pasternak, so you're really hoping that that's electric. But if it's not, you're in trouble.
Yeah. No, 100%. It looks troubling out the gate because that's a guy that thrives off of having a patented 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I like the contract. I'm not gonna lie. Like 7 years at $7 million.
I don't.
For a 1C. Like that's like it or not. That has to be their 1C right now. So like
that's what I mean. Is like I guess yeah. If you're paying that for your 1C, you're not mad about it, but you are if he's not a 1C.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he was a 3C in Vancouver 4 months ago.
I mean, this is 100%. But this is the path they chose, right? When they avoided the rebuild yet again.
Yeah.
If you refuse to rebuild, then you're just going to get worse.
It's hard, right? Like those are hard decisions to make when your team is still so strong, right? Like they were one of the best teams in the league last year.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't expecting it either. We expected them to be.
We thought the fall off was here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once again, I'm here to predict that. I don't think it's a massive fall off. I just think that losing Allmark is a lot bigger than it seems. You know what I mean? I know they still have Jeremy Swayman, but Jeremy Swayman has never been a workhorse starter.
No, and if he gets the 10 mil that he's demanding, or even anywhere close, you're not going to be able to add anything.
Well, yeah, that's 100% true. I mean, that's more of a like down the road thing than this is right now for this year. But I'm just not convinced that Korpisalo is going to be very good. And so I think you're going to have to play Jeremy Swayman a lot. And I'm not sure that that's going to go all that well. I just think they're going to have some extra losses this year just because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, Swayman has had hip issues already too, so he's not a guy that you can lean on that heavily. It's concerning.
Yeah.
And I just think he's going to be put in more positions where he's going to have to make athletic stops.
Yeah.
I just don't see him getting the longevity with this decor in front of him. And
Yeah.
I don't think that this forward core has the capability to trap it in the opponent's zone for extended periods of time to give him a break either.
I agree. I have them. I didn't write it here, but I do have them in the second wildcard spot. I think that they will make the playoffs. I think coming off a season as intense as last year's was, it's hard for them to. It's hard to picture them not making the playoffs, even with all the other teams that we're going to get to. But I do think the dominant season that we saw last year won't be the same, and I don't think that they're quite the same level of OTL merchant that they were last year. I got them at 42 wins, 30 losses, 10 OTLs, and that's for 94 points.
Yeah, that's very fair. Excuse me. I definitely could feel them still making playoffs.
Yeah.
I have them at 42, 31, and 9. It's 93 points. It's good for 5th.
Yeah.
Maybe wild card 2. Like,
sure. I mean, we have them like 1 point separated here. Like, that's pretty dang close.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the Metro's going to be really, really lights out.
Sure.
And I don't know if they're even going to be better than 5 teams in the Metro.
Yeah, it's fair. Jonesy, how you feeling?
I got them at 97 points.
Yep.
To be determined if that's a playoff team.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you, honestly. But I don't know. This team just has that devil magic.
Yeah.
That like they're just gonna be there.
Ugh.
I do worry about the goaltend situation though, because like y'all said, Swayman hasn't played as a workhorse ever. I expect him to not be as lights out given that role.
Yeah.
And losing Allmark for Korpisalo hurts quite a bit. Yeah. But I still think they have the system and just the devil magic.
Yeah.
They're probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just stupid Bruin things.
I think that missing that 1-2 goalie combo is really going to hurt them more than we anticipate.
I agree. But I do think that like Lindholm's a significant center upgrade for them.
I agree.
Not
for
enough
sure.
to fully offset it, but enough to like offset a bit of it.
And I mean, with how much their internal cap structure's absolutely imploded in the last few years with their no one signs over 5 mil thing. Getting a 1C for like 2 mil over your like, hard stop is like, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Especially because the cap's still going to keep going up. They're like damn near out of escrow, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's move on to a very interesting team in my eyes, the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I honestly really like Buffalo with adding Ryan McLeod. I like, that's a really solid. This is a team that had a really weak bottom 6 for far too long.
Yeah. And
just leaned way too hard on their top 6.
Yeah.
So, they bring in a lot of guys that just tie that up. You got Sam Lafferty, Ryan McLeod.
Yep. I like Beck Malmstein.
Yep.
Jason Zucker comes in as well.
I really like Jason Zucker. I think that he's going to be really useful for this team.
Yeah.
I also feel really bad for Jason Zucker because I feel like he's the best player to end up on the worst teams ever.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Get a new agent.
That's very fair. Yeah, Buffalo is just a team I'm always rooting for. Like they're Vancouver's Pain Bros, both expansion bros from 1970, and just so much pain. And Buffalo has such a loyal fan base. You know what I mean? It's such a hockey market there.
They do really love their sports, regardless of what it is.
And they just can't seem to get it together. I mean, there's a few teams in the Atlantic that are in the category of when are they gonna get it together, and is this the year they get it together? I'm really hoping it is for Buffalo because I quite like the team in a lot of ways.
I think that you're pretty bang on. I think that it's not the year, but it's the year before the year.
It's understandable.
I think that they're so close to figuring it out, and they just need to move a couple more pieces and just get a little bit better. I mean,
Yeah.
I really, really love the Byram pickup. That is going to change so much for their power play immediately.
It's like their D group is kind of nasty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's just like they need one more year to really get going.
That's
Like,
understandable.
I think Owen Power's gonna have a great year. I just don't think he's gonna have the best year.
That's fair. I see what you're saying for sure. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Owen Power, Bowen Byram, Rasmus Dahlin. My boy patented my boy Zach Benson. I'm a huge Zach Benson fan. I'm excited to see how his sophomore season goes. I'm excited to see another year out of Dylan Cousins. I think Tage Thompson,
I was gonna say the Rage,
tough year last year.
bad year,
He's gonna be much better this year, I think.
100%.
There's a lot I like about this group. I don't know what I had him at in points here. I think it was what I had him. Yeah, I got him in the playoffs. I think this is the year that they kind of take that step. I don't think they're going to be world beaters, but I got him at 93 points. That's good or 96 points. Sorry, that's good for third in the division. 43 wins.
Yeah, I got him at 43 wins as well. 30 losses, 9 points. We're actually the same here, actually. So I
one
got
of
him
us did the math wrong.
Yeah.
What is that? 43 times 2 is 86 plus 9 is 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually I can't do math. I'm a hockey guy, not a mathematician.
Hey, you know what? They pay you to look good. They don't pay you to work with the numbers.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
But yeah, I think that this team's going to take a step. I think that they're going to be really freaking close. They're going to be in the playoff chase
Mhm.
and playing meaningful games down the stretch.
Mhm.
And more than anything, that's what they need. Are they going to make the playoffs? I think they're kind of in that same fringe category as Buffalo. And they're in that same fringe category as Boston, where
Sure.
they're just kind of, you know,
Historically, 95 points is enough to make the playoffs.
it is.
So I mean, if you have them at fourth, that should be good for a wild card spot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I said Boston maybe wild card too, but like
Sure.
realistically, I see the Metro snagging 4. So yeah, we'll say Boston's missing playoffs with 5, and Buffalo takes wild card 2.
You'll have to tune in next week for the Metro.
Absolutely, that
to
one's gonna
find
be
out about Boston's future.
a heater.
Jonesy, how you feeling?
I am a fan of Buffalo.
He a fan.
Not in that way, but I got him at 97 points.
Yeah.
Third in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I just like a lot about this team. It is pretty young,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean they're good young players. Can I tell y'all something? This fourth line,
Yeah.
is like maybe the most peak fourth line I've ever seen.
I'm saying, like, if you're rolling out for like 8 minutes a night against other fourth line competition, Beck Mallenstein, Sam Lafferty, and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. How do you say that? Aube-Kubel.
Abe Kubel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think you're winning those matchups a lot of times.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm a big Sam Lafferty guy. Just
I love
for
the
the
laugh man.
record.
Yeah, I got no problems over here with Sam Lafferty. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of jump in his game. I quite like Sam Lafferty.
You know what? Chicago didn't dim his light, so
Mm-hmm.
that's all you have to say, right? Like,
I can't believe Sam Lafferty. That is so bonkers to me that his rights got traded for in that who did Ilya Mikheyev trade. Chicago acquired his signing rights, which first of all is just crazy to acquire signing rights for a fourth liner. Like I've never seen that before. And then they didn't sign him. Like what are we talking about here?
yeah, someone stepped on that.
I don't know.
The deal came across, and they're like, "You did what?"
Yeah. No, I like Buffalo.
And you said it. This decor, kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Just young.
And Matthias Samuelsson might be their best defensive defenseman, and he was out for like over half the year last year.
Yeah.
That's a big return.
Let's not nap on Connor Clifton either. I like Connor Clifton.
I got no problems with Connor
He's just a
Clifton.
meat and potatoes type of dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of bold prediction. Also not that bold for Buffalo. They kind of do it every year. I'm saying on Christmas Day, the Sabres are the number 1 team in the East.
I like that take.
But
Wow.
they're gonna kind of crumble a bit as the year progresses.
You're right. Like that's not like the hottest take for Buffalo because they tend to be pretty good out the gate. But first at Christmas,
That's bold.
that is bold. I like it. I want to see how that plays out.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. This is still a pretty decent division. You got the Panthers in here. You got Tampa, who always seem to just stick around anyways.
We'll get there. Let's go to Detroit.
Ugh.
Jake
Ugh.
Wallman out. Bye-bye for nothing. Don't know why we did that, but we did it. Cam Talbot gets a couple years. Rock and roll.
Who?
Tarasenko, couple of years. Rock and roll. Detroit's another team very similar to Boston. Fans have been waiting, and they've been waiting a long time, and they're ready to see a step get taken.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
I'd like it to be a long weekend.
I'm just like, I really, really, really like Jackson, friend of the show. He's been on the show.
Shut up, Jackson. We love you, buddy.
I thought you just said shut up, Jackson. That's so funny.
Also, shut up, Jackson, because I know I'm gonna hear it from you as soon as this podcast hits the airwaves.
Jackson has reiterated a sentiment to me that I've heard from not just him, but I've seen it from other Detroit fans in the past. That is, you have to learn how to be decent before you're really good. Right? You have to learn how to win. And so that's why they did all these. They filled the team with JT Compher and Andrew Kops and all of that. And I just cannot describe how little I buy it.
It's called Stockholm syndrome.
Like I just don't see it when I look at, and granted I know that I'm a fan of the teams that I'm a fan of, and we're very close to these two teams, but when I look at teams like Vancouver and New Jersey, they just stacked up elite talent until that elite talent figured it out. Right? And I think that when I'm looking at some other teams like Anaheim, they're doing that same thing right now.
Buffalo.
And when they get good, they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
And I think Detroit has really, really taken the wrong path here of like trying to be mid instead of just letting yourself be bad until you can be really good. They're like just trying to be a little bit better, and then they're like wrecking their draft stock, and now they need more.
Well, and even in their attempts to be good, they were still tragic. They had one of the thank God COVID happened, because they would have had one of the worst seasons, like the worst season in NHL history.
But I'm mostly talking about like last year,
Yeah.
right? Like they were on the fringe of being a playoff team. If Tortorella hadn't pulled the goalie, they would have been.
Yeah.
But they're still not good enough.
But I mean, like, that's also the point, is like, even if you were a playoff team, it's like Okay, you're a first round exit team. Congratulations. And you're not
Yeah.
making it the next year. And even if you do, you're not getting further.
I know that they still have a lot of prospects and help coming, but like not a lot of blue chip ones.
No.
And
Well, I mean, Casper could do all right.
I'm starting to worry about Casper too a little bit. And I'm a big Marco Casper fan. I had him in Fantrax. I did draft him in Fantrax. I'm losing some faith. I traded him in Fantrax.
Yeah.
I traded him for the boy we were just talking about, Zach Benson.
It's a good trade.
I like that one.
It's a great trade.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this team is just way too mid. And Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond are players that I both I like. I really like. I really like Alex DeBrincat. I like the whole top six, but just like not enough to scare me when it comes to the other teams in this division.
Yeah, I don't have taste for Lucas Raymond. I don't think he's that special. I think he's a good player. I'm not
Yeah.
going to dump on him, but I just don't think he's a perennial top right.
I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to. Jonesy just scrolled to the D group, and it actually just made me laugh out loud. Sorry, you please finish that thought.
I'm not
so
gonna.
sorry.
No, that's quite all right. I see what you're looking at, and yeah, wow. I'm not gonna dump on Lucas Raymond, but I will dump on this.
On every single pairing, you have one of Ben Sherratt, Jeff Petrie, and Oli Mata. In 2024, you have one of those players on the ice at all times, is what you're telling me.
All of these are sixth men.
I don't know about this. And I'm a big Seider guy. I think Seider's gonna have himself a big season.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to it.
and I don't know, the goaltending situation's just so weird. I don't like anything about what Yzerman's doing at this point. Like
The eyes are playing.
the Yzer plan has collapsed. He's got goalies, and then in free agency he was running out anyways and being like, we might be shopping goalies, and it's like, what?
Thomas Drance did a really good breakdown of kind of how the Yzer plan went wrong, like, and how like over the past, especially the last two drafts, when it seemed like they figured out that okay, we need some like actually like really elite talent here. It seemed like they figured that out when they traded Hronek away for a first round pick.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you still realize you have to swing for the fences here. And then they went 2 straight drafts where they only drafted like high floor, low ceiling players. And it's like, why did you do that? What's happening here? I mean, I think the defenseman they picked up in the first round this year looks pretty good, but I can't remember his name.
He's like,
Swedish guy.
yeah,
It's like Sandy Palika or something like that. Anyways, I don't know. There's nothing I really like about the direction of the Red Wings right now. As much as I don't mind the team, I have them in the same ballpark as they were last year points wise. I have them at 89 points, 40 wins, 33 losses, 9 OTLs. But in a division that's going to be really tight, that's good for 7th in the Atlantic.
yeah. And that sounds about right. I got him at 38, 32, and 12. It's 88 points in 7th as well. Like, we're a point off. And yeah, sorry, Jackson. Like, this team fucking blows, dude. Genuinely.
Jonesy, how you feel about the Detroit Red Wings?
I'm right there with y'all.
Yeah.
89 points, 6th in the division.
1 point off between the three of us. I like
Yeah.
Wow.
This team, I just don't like anything.
that.
I'm with Trill on this one.
Yeah.
I like, they had a really good record when Dylan Larkin was healthy last year.
Mhm.
But after that, it gets murky.
Yeah.
And honestly, Moritz Seider, not a big Moritz Seider guy.
No, eh?
He's been a bit of a like rookie or merchant. Like his name,
The next Tyler Myers.
Cheese.
That would be tragic, actually.
Yeah, and this decor, like Edvinson, I hope he turns out well,
He could.
but like that's still like a rookie defenseman alongside those names that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Jeff Petrie.
I'm saying, like, at every moment of the 2024-2025 season, when you turn on a Detroit Red Wings game, either Olli Mata, Ben Sherratt, or Jeff Petrie will be on the ice.
That sounds so on brand, though. Like, I can't think of anything more on brand for Detroit than those three names. That's like,
No.
this feels like 2009.
All right, let's get to Florida. This is a big boy team here, right? They're coming off a cup win, and really, they don't like lose much.
No,
OEL is gone.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. Bobrovsky is older, of course.
whatever.
Nate Schmidt comes in, and honestly, I know that he signed for like a league minimum contract. I really don't think you're gonna get a ton less from Nate Schmidt than you are OEL, in all seriousness.
No,
And then Sam Reinhart's back. Lundell is also back.
I think Nate Schmidt is a perfect replacement for OEL. He's bigger, he's more physical. That was the two things that were holding OEL back last year. Was he was kind of getting roughed up in a team that plays incredibly rough. And if you're not on team dish it, you're on team receive it.
Yeah, and I actually think Nate Schmidt's a little bit underrated as a puck mover.
Yeah,
He can move the puck.
yeah. I mean, he did great in Vegas.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that was a long time ago, but I think he's
I
still
know.
got some of that in him.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, those skills don't dissipate. Like, the vision doesn't just go.
Yeah, doesn't just die.
It's just that his role changed, and he wasn't asked to do that anymore.
I think it's really difficult to see this team getting a lot worse, even though, I mean, the bottom six is kind of weird, you know? I'll be 100% with you too. I don't know what Mackenzie Entwistle's doing over here. But it doesn't concern me too much. This team honestly like feels kind of like a new Boston. Like, I really do see Barkov as like the captain of the ship, the way Bergeron was over there. Maybe not. I'm not saying that he is Bergeron. I'm not trying to say that at all. I just mean in the way that he like captains that team. They fall around him. I love it.
I don't think you're even that off base to make that comparison anymore. I think that, like, you'd be tripping to get offended by that at this point. Like, I know everyone's super sensitive about the Bergeron legacy and like whatever, but Doug, he's been retired for a year or two. Like, it's not like, you're calling him Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's a very perfect parallel, and yeah, it does feel like the emergence of the new Boston or even the new Tampa in a sense, where it's like this is a dynasty team.
This is a threat team to go deep again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I have them in the mix again. I got them coming second in the Atlantic, 104 points, 49 wins. Not quite cracking that 50 win mark, but 49 wins, 27 losses, 6 OTLs.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same spot. They lost a couple of their D-men, but they came back and replaced them with pretty comparable things.
Yeah.
And when I just don't see them cracking 50 because it takes a little bit to settle into that new D group. So comp a few games here and there.
And I mean, we've seen cup hangovers happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Plus they've also played just a lot of hockey over the last 2 years, right? They've gone to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And is Sam Reinhart really gonna pot 50 again? Like, doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. So I got him going 48, 30, and 4. It's good for 100 points. Also good for second. Like, we're still very much in the same ballpark. It's just that they're not going to be as good.
Yeah. Jonesy, how about you?
I got them finishing second at 102. In the middle. Me and in the middle of y'all there. I think they're worse. Like they just are.
I don't think that's off base.
Yeah.
And like you guys just said, they've played a lot of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think this team's gonna be very mid, kind of sleepwalk the first even like half of the year,
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
I think they'll turn it on as the playoffs approach. Honestly, just a weird thing I just noticed. I think Trill 4 OTLs has to be the lowest of any team.
That is for sure. I don't think you've had 4 OTLs for
Yeah.
anyone else.
No, I have a lot of people with some massive OTLs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
not Florida. They're winning an OT.
I just lean on the OTLs for simple math. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's valid.
but yeah, I don't know. I'm not worried about them at all, but they're definitely worse. That's all.
That would actually be so funny if, like, at the end of the year, we had comments of people being like, "You had the number of wins wrong." Like, are we really like actually? The only reason I even have these records up is to make the points make sense.
Yeah, exactly. I was
to,
thinking
to show like up or down in wins.
I was thinking about it and I was like, honestly, if we like took all of these stats and then combined them,
Mm-hmm.
how many like would it even be physically possible to have like would the wins and losses even be evenly distributed across the whole thing? And probably not.
I was actually talking to Jonesy about that. I thought about like trying to do the math on what the actual like amount of points are in a season.
Like they're available to be taken.
Yeah, and then like allocating that to each team, and I was like, absolutely not. Like I just said, I'm a hockey fan. I'm not a mathematician.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
All right, let's get to the Habs here. Another very interesting team. Another very young team.
Yeah.
They get Line A in. That's their big ad from the summer. People can feel however they feel about that. I know our Hab friend is jacked up about that.
Yeah, former producer.
Former producer Austin. Former producer Austin, yep.
Shout out the boy.
Shout out the boy. Lane Hudson gets an ELC. That could be really interesting for them. Caden Gooley resigns. Slavkovsky also resigns. Lane Hudson is a guy I'm really, really excited to watch this year. I hope that he makes the team. It looks like all the indicators show that he's coming to the big club. Now, that's really interesting because I think in a lot of ways the Habs rebuild depends on it.
I agree. I think this is their Logan Stankoven.
I mean, I think he's their Quinn Hughes. Like, really, the only way that Lane Hudson stays in the NHL is if he's Quinn Hughes light.
Yeah.
That's the only way. He's small. He's incredible. He's like 5'8" or something. Like, he's tiny.
Yeah.
But he's incredibly agile. His vision is out of this world. He's putting up numbers that haven't been seen since like Brian Leach. And
Yeah.
they need him to be that because he is very small and his skating's not quite as good as Quinn Hughes. So you need him to be that guy. Otherwise, he's like, his floor is like not an NHLer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a Ty Smith sort of thing where it's like
Yeah.
if you're not going to be a scoring threat, you're not going to be any threat.
And similar to Vancouver, like they didn't get out of it until they got that game-breaking number one defenseman. And they need Lane Hudson to be that guy.
Yeah, that's very fair.
But it's probably, unless he's literally Quinn Hughes, not going to happen in his rookie season, right?
I so strongly doubt it, but I would love to see it.
There's a lot of youth still on this team. It should be a really fun season if you're a Habs fan.
Better than the last few.
Yeah, 100%. But I think they're still too young. I think they still have too far to go in this rebuild. Someone told me, was it you told me, Jay, that there's a documentary about their rebuild?
Yeah, I've been seeing commercials on that, and it's like it actually just makes me laugh every time.
That's actually so
it's
crazy.
It's called The Rebuild too. I'm pretty sure.
That's wild.
Like,
That's like, do you remember in like the mid 2000s when Edmonton did that documentary with TSN called Oil Change? It's like
no.
It was like they finished like dead last like
I
3
do,
years
like-
straight. Yeah, and they just had like they'd just taken in like Hopkins and like
like
Eberle. Yeah, like it was like that era of Oilers. Like they still sucked. They were terrible.
That's so funny, and it's gonna be the same as this, where it's like, wow, they're exiting, and it's another like 5 years of just misery before anything starts to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's sorry, Habs fans, to give you the spoiler alert on that one, but this team, as much as it should be a lot of fun, they're not ready.
No. I mean, they're further back than Buffalo, and I said Buffalo wasn't quite ready. So
Yeah, exactly. Friedman said a lot of things that I agree with in his season breakdown about the Habs, about how they need some guys to start commanding positions,
yes,
to take over, to be like, this job is mine. I'm not giving it back. This is my job, rather than this constant floating around of who's going to be where and what kind of player are they going to be.
goaltenders explicitly too. Like,
Absolutely.
they
Reed.
need to figure that out.
The rebuild. That's so crazy. Like, here's the beginning of the rebuild, and at the end of it, they're still rebuilding. That's such a crazy documentary to make. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's something that you would love to learn? Like, as an adult, are you still finding time to make new things and learn new things in your everyday life? It can be anything, right? Some people want to learn a new language. Some people want to learn gardening. Some people want to learn how to beat their best friend in bowling. It could be whatever. Therapy can help you reconnect with that childlike wonder, that back-to-school era that you're looking for at any age. Therapy can be fantastic for anybody, right? It's not just if you're in a crisis moment at that exact moment, right? It could be about learning positive coping skills. It could be about learning boundaries. It could be about just being the best version of yourself. Therapy can be for anybody, and BetterHelp is there for you. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's convenient. It's flexible to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and you're matched up with a licensed therapist. It's really that easy. If you want to switch at any time, you can. It's free of charge. No problems at all. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THPN. TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Coming up this week, we got the Lions and the Cardinals. I'm really excited about that one as a big Lions fan. They're favorited right now. Lines and odds are subject to change, don't get me wrong, but I'm keeping an eye on that one, I promise you. So are you ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Anyways, yeah, I have them dead last in the division. I don't know what to tell you. That's 72 points. Ouch. I just don't think they have enough anywhere, even though they should be pretty fun to watch. I got them at 32 wins. I don't think it's enough.
Fair. I have this as like a very above average bad division.
Yeah.
So I have them sitting with a little bit more than you. I got them at 37, 35, and 10. It's good for 84 points. It's still 8th, but it's a better feeling 8th.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I would feel like trash if my team put up 72. That's a bad season. But with the youth they have and all of the tools and where they're going with it, I would feel good as a Habs fan exiting above 80.
Yeah, that's fair. Jay, how you feeling?
I am in agreement with the 8th place. I got him at 74 points. They're just not there.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple.
I like-
Honestly, we don't even got to go into line A.
No.
I'll just say that I'm not moved.
No, we
I think we have talked on this.
yeah.
It won't change anything. It'll be nice and it'll be fun to watch, but like
Maybe.
yeah, it's gonna be an example to make of either way.
I am less than enthused on Patrick Laine. I will agree with you on that.
I think it's just gonna be one of those players where either he's going to like teach these kids how to really dig deep and find that gear and really make something of yourself, or
He ain't
or
doing
he's
that.
gonna do what he always does and absolutely implode, and he's just gonna be a great example for these kids of what not to do and
Yeah,
how
like-
not to apply yourself.
What did he just? Yeah, there's no way this dude's turning into Claude Giroux overnight.
No,
There's no shot.
no. But I mean, either way, it's a teaching moment, and having that type of volatile
Wow.
player in the organization, it'll teach some lessons, add
No.
some character.
Bro's not gonna make it 8 months.
Bro's not gonna make it a fortnight.
Y'all think he still plays Fortnite like that?
Yeah,
Oh, for
I
sure.
bet you he does.
Like he
He'd still be gaming for sure. I don't know if
definitely
he's still on
gaming, but
Fortnite.
like
I don't know if
Fortnite.
he's like addicted to it anymore, but like
What do you think? What do you think he's actually playing these days? Like what are people playing anymore? I don't know.
still Fortnite. It's still
Warzone's
pretty
dead.
popular.
Fortnite's like hitting with
Twitch streamers and stuff.
yeah, but it's still not like what it was.
I feel like Fortnite is kind of like, this is like real off base. But I feel like Fortnite is like Roblox now, where like it's still
Yeah.
like huge with like
It's community.
middle ager, like not middle middle school middle schoolers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's still huge, but like it doesn't have that same buzz.
I don't think anything does like
Yeah.
like when it comes to like that sort of like shooter battle royale thing, like Apex, Fortnite, Warzone, PUBG. They're all none of them are where they were at.
Well, they just got drummed to death. you
If
know?
y'all know what Line A is playing right now, comment.
Yeah, drop it in the comments. Let us know.
Tell me what you think Patrick Line is playing.
I want to know.
All right, let's go to Ottawa.
Hell yeah.
Ottawa Senators. They get Nick Cousins 1 year, $800K. Yuck.
Fuck that guy.
Speaking of yuck, Carter Yuckumchuk. Just kidding, that's Yakumchuk, but he's coming in from the WHL onto his ELC. I don't know if he's going to play any games this year. I feel like maybe not. But one of the things that they said in the draft is that he was one of the most league-ready WHL defensemen. So we'll see. Maybe he gets some games. Michael Amadio gets 3 years at $2.6 million, and that's a contract that I quite like.
I don't mind that at all, honestly.
And David Perron, couple of years, couple of million.
I honestly don't mind that one either.
Me neither. I like Ottawa's team. Again, so similar in this, like, so much young talent. Are they gonna work? And Jay, can you pull up the line combos for them? I like this roster.
Same.
It's really what it comes down to is I like the roster. I think that they're a couple years ahead of like this Montreal category.
Yeah.
I think that the bottom six is fairly garbo, but I don't mind Shane Pinto. I don't mind Riley Greig. I don't mind Michael Amadio at all. I don't mind Zach McEwen either. And I think in your top six, you're looking for some dudes to take some steps. I think Tim Stützle could have a monster year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Norris could have a monster year too. I think that out of all of the years that he's come back, this is the time that he's actually gotten what he's needed and had surgery on the shoulder, but like real intense surgery, not like, oh, we're just going to try and put it together and rehab you and march
Yep.
you back out the door. Like they had real legitimate reconstructive surgery. And it sounds like he's progressing properly. I mean, you get rid of the dead weight in Tarasenko. That's disrespectful a little bit, but like he was dead weight here. And you replace him, like you're not going to get any veteran experience trickled down through this young group from Tarasenko. You are from Perron
And Giroux.
and Giroux, but he was already there, so that,
Yeah, totally.
and he's still there.
And then you
Um,
bring in Allmark.
and that was like
It's huge.
the thing about this team was when we were doing the standings, I tried to talk myself out of it so many times because I looked at it and I was like, that can't be right.
I mean, at the end of the day, they are the Ottawa Senators. Like, we can't let that be forgotten.
But I don't know. Like, Allmark is just such an X factor. It's like,
Do you remember the "What do you have going for you" interview question from a few years ago when they were asking the GM, "What do you think you guys have going for you right now?" And he was like, "We're a team."
great answer. Top shelf.
We are, in fact, a hockey team.
Points. Ding.
Yeah, I don't have them in a playoff spot.
Oh, I
Let
do.
me be clear.
That's why I was like trying to talk myself out of it so much. I was like, I
And-
want to not believe this.
This team, let me be very clear. I will not be surprised at all if my predictions are wrong. I have them at 90 points. That's good for sixth in a very good division. And that has them, obviously, out of a playoff spot in that regard. 43 wins, 35 losses, 4 OTLs. But I will not be shocked at all if my predictions are wrong.
Yeah, that's honestly, we're just not that far off either. The only difference between yours and mine is a couple wins here and a couple OT losses there. I got him at 45, 30, and 8,
Yep.
which by my math gave him 98 points and third in the division. And I was like, that can't be so. And I went back and I looked and I haggled and I tried to just keep bumping these numbers around to take some points away, and I couldn't.
You like it?
I like this roster. I like Allmark there, even with what's lacking at the D position a little bit still.
Mm-hmm.
Allmark makes up for it.
Yeah.
Like this was a team that has always kind of looked good, but has always had really atrocious goaltending.
Yeah.
It reminds me of very early Leafs.
For me, I think the Ottawa factor is just a part of this still. Like, there's still some uncertainty around. I think they have a new GM. DJ Smith was just fired last year. We'll see what happens. There's still just like an Ottawa factor to it that like scares me.
Yeah, I mean, we said that about Toronto forever too, though, right? And like
Absolutely.
they're a powerhouse. They're an absolute
Mhm.
wagon, and they've come along sort of the same way, where they just made good on some like 8th overall, 10th overall, 4th overall. Like,
Yeah.
they've had some really good draft selections and have a lot of really top end scoring youth.
Jonesy, how you feeling?
I'm not too high on him. I got him
Yeah.
at 86 points,
Mm-hmm.
7th in the Atlantic. I really love their forward core.
Yeah.
Let me be clear.
It's hard not to.
It's nice. I really don't like their D core at all.
Yeah.
Nick Jensen, ugh.
You're not a big Tyler Clevin fan.
Even like Thomas Chabot, kind of.
I like Thomas.
I
Chabot.
don't like.
Really?
Kind
Yeah, I
of.
do.
I'm not big on Shabbat. He's too old, too injury prone.
But honestly, and maybe this is a hot take. Well, it kind of is. I don't like Ullmark that much. I think Ullmark has only been a good goalie in his career. In like a really good Boston system, while splitting starts.
I will say, like, it's hard for me to sit here and be like, "Oh, Allmark's a big difference maker," when I was just saying how like Swayman's never been a workhorse before. But-
Yeah,
He's just such a huge upgrade over Korpisalo.
yeah, like that is a big part. Like if Ottawa even gets like average goaltending,
Yeah.
they're 10 points minimum.
Yeah, they had
better.
like historically bad goaltending last year.
So like honestly, 86 may be pretty low, but I also, like you said, I just have the Ottawa stench on this team.
Yeah.
Like maybe Shane Pinto opens that band account again or something.
Word.
I was on the same wave. I've totally wanted to be at 80 with you.
But you're on the X's and O's.
I'm on the X's
we
and
know
O's, and
we
I
know what Jay's on.
I like I smell that smell. I totally get it. Someone hasn't flushed, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be the year.
Could be
This is 83 games. Would you like to revise this in any way here?
Take away an overtime loss.
All right. 97. Which hopefully
he-
doesn't change anything.
I don't think it does.
All right, let's get over to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They get the biggest free agent on the market, Jake Gensel. That's a big one. 7 years, $9 million per year. Connor Geeky, he's going to be in. That's your boy.
You seen the knob on that kid's stick? Holy Christ.
I have not, no.
That boy uses like a roll of tape just on his knob. Like you may as well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's my boy.
Unbelievable. Cam Atkinson, he's in.
I like Cam Atkinson.
Sure. Jeannot's out. Sergachev's out. Stamkos, obviously, is out. I have a hard time believing in the Tampa Bay Lightning. As much as like they're kind of a culture team and a dynasty team, I think you lose a lot of that when you lose Steven Stamkos.
I agree.
I think Victor Hedman has shown to be fairly fragile over the last couple of years, and I actually think that he's taken a pretty significant regression step. He hasn't really looked like the Victor Hedman that we know, even when he's been healthy and in the lineup. Tanner Jeannot, as much as it never really worked out, you don't really replace him either.
No.
Mikhail Sergachev, as much as he's been in and out, you don't replace him either.
I mean, look, I'll say this about Jeannot forever.
Yeah,
He did exactly what they asked him to do.
absolutely.
They didn't use him to his potential because they just didn't think he could do it. But like that
Mhm.
guy can score.
Mm-hmm.
That's their own damn fault.
I
I like Connor Sherry in here though.
I think that would have been so nasty 5 years ago
I think
when
he's
they
still
were
a
going for a cup.
very certifiable like third liner.
If these line combos like shake out that way, this is going to be like the most blatant one line team in the league. Like really, like you're gonna roll out Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, and Cam Atkinson in 2024 against some of these other second lines.
I like Hagel.
I do like Brandon Hagel.
He's been on the rise, so I don't know.
I would love Brandon Hagel in less minutes than that. Truly, like that's the thing. Some people that's fine though, right? Like Connor Garland, I don't love on the second line ever, but I love him on the third.
Yeah. Okay. I'm buying
That's
that.
how I feel about Brandon Hagel as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, the top line is nasty, of course. Jake Gensel, Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point. That's disgusting. I just don't think there's much else there at all. And the D group, I don't like. I don't like it.
I don't either. I genuinely don't. It's old. It's injury ridden already. Chernak's had a rough 2 to 3 years. Hedman's had a rough 2 to 3 years. McDonough is on his like swan song. Him being on this team is being put out to pasture by Nashville.
Yeah.
Like-
it's literally like when you got to put your dog down so
Yeah,
you
I
take
was-
it to the park.
I was gonna say this is taking Lassie behind the shed. Like this is the steak dinner before the shotgun cocks.
Oh, yeah. I think it's over. I think it's over.
I think so too. And you know what? Like, there's not a Vasilevsky in this world that can save you. Not then, not now. Not with this team. Not with this D group.
Not then and definitely not now, because that's another guy that has
Regressed
had some concerning numbers over the last couple of years.
and injuries.
Yeah.
Like he's been missing for stints.
So I don't know. I don't have them. I don't have them in a playoff spot. I don't. I have them as a very good team. 92 points, 42 wins. That's a good team. They're gonna win a lot of games on the power play yet again. I think this division's gonna be really tough, and I think the one line team isn't gonna do it.
Yep, I'm with that. I just don't think that they're good enough in a conference, and the whole East is too good.
Yeah.
Even when you're not playing in your division, you're still just gonna get spanked around and exposed by some of these other teams in the Metro.
And I mean, they have the bit of the reverse stank, right? They have the Tampa Bay flower smell on them of, wow, they went to 3 straight finals with this core.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years since they won a round.
Yeah, Rome still smelt like potpourri when it was burning. Don't get it confused.
Bars. What you got him at, Trill?
I got him at 41, 31, and 10. That's good for 91 points. Again, a very good team. Still,
Yeah,
like, it's
good
decent
showing.
numbers. But it's 6th. It's not a playoff. It's over. It's Jehovah.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of the toboggan ride.
Big J.
I got them at 94 points. Also in 5th. Probably not a playoff spot. This team is pretty bad. Just flat out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that first line is like actually nuts.
It's a nuts first line.
And like I know we just talked on Vasi. I'm expecting, what's my favorite word, y'all?
Regression.
Regression indeed. I expect Vasilevsky to be better this year. Like he's coming into the season healthy.
Yeah.
He like last year he wasn't healthy. 2 years ago, the dude played like 3 straight playoff runs.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of wear and tear, and now he's probably like the freshest he's been in a minute.
Yeah.
And hopefully healthy. Like you kind of do worry about his injuries, but
For sure.
I think like those two things, just Vasi in the first line. John Cooper's still that guy
Mm-hmm.
in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be competitive. I don't think they're making the playoffs.
I just worry about goalies like Vasi, especially when like they get to this age and they have those injuries pop up. Like he sits in the same category as Carey Price in my mind.
Yeah.
Minus the not having cups, but just like the age and the wear and tear. Like it doesn't matter how good you are. If your knees say you can't do it, if
Yeah.
your hips say you can't do it, you can't do it eventually. There's
Yeah.
not enough painkiller and ibuprofen and icy hot and whatever else Shaq is promoted by. There's not enough
Everything under the sun.
There's
is
not enough
promoted by Shaq.
there's not enough Panasonic printers in the world to save your knee issues.
For real, I don't know if there's a single industry that doesn't somewhere in there have a company sponsored by Shaq
You have to.
or endorsed by Shaq.
We need him in the NHL, honestly. We need more
Facts.
Shaq representation.
Bring him on to TNT.
Yeah.
Get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod. We're next episode. Jeff Merrick will be interviewing Shaquille O'Neal.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, last team.
I'm sorry, we really
Yeah.
need Charles Barkley on here. That's what we need.
We do need Charles Barkley on here.
No, we need Shannon Sharp on here. Onk. Big onk.
Keep that Instagram, keep that phone away.
Keep that phone away.
Hang up, onk. Hang up.
Okay.
She said, please.
We're we're leaving a lot of suspense for the last one here.
Oh,
Toronto Maple Leafs.
sorry, Ben.
I'm just gonna I got some notable signings on here. Obviously, they have some notable ones. They have OEL. He gets 4 years. That's a notable one. Sure. Chris Tanev gets 6 years. We went over that one. But Chris Tanev is a massive upgrade on that blue line. Max Pacioretty's here with a PTO. We'll see how that goes. However, I wanted to touch on Ben Danford getting an ELC here. Because I don't know how to explain this, and I avoided him in our Fantrax draft for this reason. But that is the most 2006 Maple Leafs defenseman name ever. I don't know what it is, but just Ben Danford sounds like he's going to be a career mid-Leafs defender.
Here comes Ben Danford over to Rob Blake. Rob Blake back to Ben Danford. Ben
I'm
Danford
saying.
down to Fana.
I'm saying. Can you tell me, Jay, where's Ben Danford from?
He's probably from
Saskatchewan.
No, with a name like Danford, that's
Mississauga.
Ontario.
That's my guess. Let's find out.
He's got to be an Ontario boy. I'm gonna say like
It sounds like Ontario, but I really feel like he grew up on a farm.
what's like it's like Sudbury, like some in Ontario, like just like farming culture, like not even good Ontario, just like
It's definitely going to be Ontario. Matic, Ontario. You nailed
Matic.
it. You nailed it.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
don't
damn
know where
close.
that is. The Leafs. Shocker. They're good.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you. Austin Matthews has the C. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Hey, he's going to play a lot. He's going to score a ton of goals.
I'm glad he has the C because I truly believe that they were never going to win a cup with Johnny T as the C.
It's understandable.
No personality, no zest, no fire.
Yeah. I think that they've done a decent job of making it work with the little money that they have, right? Matthew Nyes, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews is going to be a lot of fun to watch, as always. But, we talked about it. I didn't like it. I didn't like their offseason. Still don't like their offseason, especially for the long term. However, the D group is upgraded.
Oh, big time.
And Tanev is a defenseman that they needed.
Yeah. Like they needed a shutdown D. I like Morgan
100%.
Riley.
I do too. Yeah,
He's not
I
shut
don't
down.
mind him. I'm excited to watch Joseph Wall. I think Joseph Wall will have himself a pretty solid season, especially with Chris Tanev spending a lot of minutes in front of him.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean with Tanev sitting in front of you, that saves you 10 goals easy, if not more.
If not more. I think that they're just like they are. Like the regular season is just their like Olympics for some reason. So they're gonna be just lights out all through the regular season for some reason, while every other team is like cooling it. They're just gonna be like all in. You know what I mean? Just like the Toronto way for the regular season.
Chasing the Percy records. You gotta love it. It's all
So
about
I'm-
the Percys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no secrets here. We've gone through every other team, so they're first in the division for all of us.
Ta-da!
And
Indeed.
Wow.
Wow. I got them at 108 points, 51 wins. The only 50-win team in this division.
Same here.
Jonesy as well. 50 wins, 105 points. Trilly.
I got 49, 28, and 5. It's good for 103. It didn't crack 50, but that's because I don't believe in this bottom six. Like,
Yeah.
the top six is the top six. The bottom six is bleh. And you have Ryan Reeves down there. Like and Connor
You
Dewar.
do
Like,
still have Ryan Reeves playing hockey for you. Yeah.
and I'll say this because when we are recording this, and at the time of when I made these predictions, this is under the assumption that they are not getting a deal done with Nick Robertson.
Right.
I think that he's better than what they think he is and what they cut him out to be. And I think that he has a place on this team right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ryan Reeves doesn't.
I agree.
So, like,
I agree with that.
if they are able to bring Robertson in and sell their differences and, meet somewhere in the middle, push him to 50. I'll give him that.
Fair.
Also, sorry, Ben, your team's going to do terrible in the playoffs now because we all said they're great, so.
I said they were going to be awful in the playoffs. I said they're going to be great in the regular season.
Oh, okay, well, maybe the stick talk curse has been broken then.
Ben knows that he knows what the deal is.
He knows. He sent us a note written in crayon.
Jay, how do you feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs? I know you said where they're at.
I'm a fan. I'm gonna be honest. I really like their forward core.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Ryan Reeves is like overblown. Like,
Yeah.
he's not like no team should want Ryan Reeves playing.
No.
But like, there also are a lot of players like that are pretty much just as good as Ryan Reeves that do play.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is true. Like, we are talking about a guy who's gonna play like 6 minutes a night.
Yeah,
It's
and
not.
and that is a
That's,
disadvantage in a way, like
yeah.
in ways for sure. But I don't know. I really like the forward core. Their D group is. We'll see.
We will see.
I'm a big Morgan Riley hater.
Yeah.
That guy. Ugh.
I love Morgan Riley for
I-
fantasy
yeah.
value, but I can't frickin' stand him.
No.
Like in do or die scenarios. That's why I love Tanev as an addition so
Yeah.
much, is because that's your shutdown.
I miss Chris Tanev.
I do like the goalies a lot. You touched on Joseph Wool.
Mm-hmm.
I like Stolars.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty decent in Florida last year in that backup role.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot better than Samsonov.
Yeah,
Oof.
brother. Ooh,
Ugh.
I agree with that one.
This team probably maybe first in the East in general.
Wow.
I don't have it that way
Mm-hmm.
with how my points are projected.
But it's a possibility.
Very possible though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
I don't buy it with the goaltending. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see it in the same way that I don't see Calgary getting quality goaltending from Dustin Wolf. Like you could.
Hell no.
But like
Yeah.
Toronto's just one of those teams where like they constantly are just on the hunt for their goalie. They had their goalie. His name was Anderson. Frederick Anderson.
At one point, his name was Tuukka Rask. And they said,
See?
we don't need that.
Yeah, like I don't know. This is just one of those teams that like inherently suffers from bad taste in goalies. Like
Yeah.
we've been over it before.
We've talked about that lots. They do have bad tasting goalies. Well, that's the Atlantic.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! We're wrapping this up at 3:07 a.m.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We really do be doing this. We put our heart and our soul into this for y'all.
So we will be back next week with the Metropolitan.
Talking about the
breakdown.
Penguins.
Talking about the Penguins. Talking about the Devils.
Oh,
A couple of stick talk teams in there.
yeah.
I can't wait to talk about the Penguins being a doormat for that division.
I am honestly pretty excited to just talk about 'em. I don't know.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't, like my expectations are not high, but
Be fun to talk about.
yeah.
It's like the best time
I
to
love
talk about your team, though.
I
Yeah.
vividly remember scoring 5 unanswered against New Jersey in like March though. That was a movie. I was at work.
That's the most. That is a fan of a shit team right there. I remember when we scored 5 unanswered goals in March.
Like I'm pretty sure we were entering the third. It was like 3-1. And like playoffs were on the line because like we were in that race.
You were there, yeah.
That was genuinely the game that ruined the Devils' like chances of making the
Yeah,
wild
because
card.
y'all were in that race as well. And then like
Yeah.
I just got like my phone just started blowing up. Just
You're-
blowing up.
We were 6 points out, and y'all were like the last semi-difficult team to go through, and then it was like a walk in the park, and they blew the lead, and then blew the next 3 games as well.
Yeah.
Like complete
was a
chuck
movie.
ups. It was a horror flick.
I love the duality here right now between the memory for you and the memories for Jay.
I remember
Jay's
getting
just like
those-
dreaming of meadows and
And you know that literally the day before, because that was the second night of a back to back.
Yeah.
We beat the Rangers. Oh my god,
that's also why I
was-
felt good.
I was living for just like a good 48 hours there.
I was like, there's no way that they do that twice. Like the magic is gone. You can't get that lucky twice. And
Anyways,
here we are.
tune in
Anyways.
for some Rangers slander next week. I'll be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna be kicking some jerseys around.
That's right.
Classic style.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in again this week.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate that a lot. If you're listening on your favorite podcaster app, please download the episodes. Give us a rating. We really appreciate that as well.
Absolutely. Make sure to tell one of your friends about us. The best way to get this podcast going and off the ground is word of mouth. Y'all have impeccable taste. Your friends trust you, and yeah, just the recommendation to anyone who you know that might rock with us, rock with our takes, loves hockey, send them our way.
As always, I'm Tico.
I'm yours truly.
Keep your dang head up.
Who's that over there though?
Big J.
Oh my.
Thank you, Big J. That first time. Well, I mean, we did 2 episodes tonight, but first time with your own microphone. How'd you feel about that?
I like it.
I quite like it. He
I
sounds
got-
good with his own microphone.
He does.
Like, I can't wait for these weekly Casey DeSmith hate watches. Like,
I love it.
Like-
If nothing else, I'm here for that.
I love it.
y'all just wait.
We're gonna have like this many like days since Casey DeSmith won a game.
How
Yeah.
many,
Things
how many
like-
games has Casey DeSmith cost the Stars? We need a counter of that.
Yeah, we should. We'll have a ticker up.
Day
All right.
45.
All right, no,
Day
no.
45.
It's 3 a.m. Keep your head up. We're done.
Keep your head up. Boom.
Boom.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick